Hello and welcome to my cooking class. It's Jacqueline. I'm back. It's Thursday. It's 3, and I bet there's a lot of parents that are starting to get a little stressed out because the kids are getting back to school. Well, that's why I thought I'd do this cooking class today because I'm going to make your life super easy with a really healthy meal that's made in minutes that's so going to take away the stress. You're going to love this meal that I made. Excuse me, the meal that we're making. Anyway, what I'm going to call this meal, let me know when you're getting here. The meal that I'm making, I'm going to call the ABC Bake. It stands for Alfredo, broccoli, and chicken, ABCs. And what better name than for when we go back to school? So let's get started making our meal. So we're going to first start out with our Alfredo mix. This is one of our meal solutions. And basically, the instructions are featured on the back of the catalog or package. Boy, am I having a bad day. I know I got my hair done, but I don't know, is it the hairspray or just me? Hello, Lisa. Anyway, we're going to do this in the microwave. So what we're going to do is we're going to make our Alfredo sauce. I've got our round steamer. Of course, we've got 4 different sizes of steamers. The round one is the one I prefer when we're doing liquids, just because it's got a thicker wall. It's a little bit more sturdy than maybe our multi-purpose steamer, and I also like it better because we're not getting corners when we're stirring in a sauce. So let's get started. First thing we're going to do is we're going to use our perfect scissors, our perfect Prep Pro scissors. I'm going to drop in our mix, give it a little stir. If you've got a whisk, I see I didn't pull my whisk out, but let's just mix this up so we don't have any lumps, and we're going to throw it in the microwave for about 4 minutes. You may want to pull it out about halfway through and just make sure you've got a good stir. I'm going to go over and get my whisk, which of course we sell, but I left in my drawer. Welcome to I'm not quite ready for the class. Anyway, how many of you have tried the Alfredo mix? Do you love it? So darn easy, because normally you have to make a roux and then add the cheese, and I mean Epicure just makes it so darn easy. So we'll give that a stir. Now I want to enhance some flavor, and I did modify the recipe that's on the back of the package because you know it's me. The instructions actually say to add it to 1.5 cups of milk, but we're going to be adding some additional things into this, including pasta. So it's going to absorb more. So I've added more liquid. The recipe will go to my website, but because I've added more liquid and I want to get more flavor, I'm going to put in our creamy ranch dip. So using our 4-in-1 spoon, make sure you stir that up a little bit because it does tend to settle a bit. Put a couple tablespoons of those, getting us lots of flavor. I also want to add in some extra onion. Hi, Kim. Nice to see you. Going to use our 4-in-1 spoon again, and I want to put a whole teaspoon in. Now, if you're not familiar with our minced garlic, this is basically garlic that's already done for you. Half a teaspoon is equivalent to 1 garlic clove. So I basically put in the equivalent of 2 garlic cloves in there. How easy was that? I didn't have to, I have a garlic press. I don't have my hands all stinky from the garlic. And then I'm going to put in roughly a teaspoon of 3 onion. Actually, my container is almost empty. Spice emergency. Hope I have 3 onion in the house. Okay, give this a stir, and we'll throw it in the microwave, as I mentioned, for approximately 4 minutes. While that's in there, we're going to get the rest of our product ready. Hi, Andrea. Nice to see you as well. So we'll just pop this in. If you don't want to use your microwave, sorry, I'm out of the picture frame here. If you don't want to use your microwave, you can totally do this on top of your stove. But let's face it, most of us just are going to be running out of time. Hi, Sherry. Nice to see you. You add chicken and bacon and sometimes shrimp and pasta to your Alfredo. I know that's the versatility of the Alfredo mix and basically all of Epicure. So what we're going to do, as I mentioned, I'm calling this the ABC Bake. Hi, Denise. We're going to chop up some broccoli. All right, so let's talk about some fun food facts about broccoli. Well, first off, broccoli As you know, you can get a whole head, sort of a head of broccoli with a big stalk. I guess you wouldn't call it a head, but anyway, you can find it with big stalks. And a lot of people don't buy it that way. They buy the broccoli crowns, they call it, which is more or less just the top parts. And then, of course, you can go for convenience and you can find the bag that's already basically chopped up for you. Well, so are you getting your money's worth? Well, that's going to be up for you to decide, but you really need to think about really realistically realizing that the broccoli, you can eat everything, stalk and all. So if you're a person that eats the stalk and all, then I'm thinking you're going to save yourself a ton of money if you just go buy the broccoli. Don't buy the crowns, buy the broccoli. Now, for some of you who are a little bit more picky, maybe you don't use the stalk, although, I mean, if you think about it, they're charging you a king's ransom for the product that's already chopped in bags. They've taken off the stalk, and do you know what they're doing? They're recharging you again because they're now selling it to you as broccoli slaw. What do you think that stuff is made of? It's made from the stalk. So I don't know. You decide. But if you want to buy convenience, of course, you can do that. What is the cost difference? About 50% more for convenience. So every part of the broccoli is usable. Every part of it is just as flavorful as the flowerets. So I'm leaving it up into your wise thoughts and your bank account to decide how you're going to buy your broccoli. So what I've done here is I've basically chopped up some broccoli tops. I've also got spinach. Kids are going back to school. They need to have lots of greens. So do you as well. So we'll just give just a rough chop to our spinach. The reason being is once you chop up, or if you don't chop up spinach, I just find it clumps. So if we can give it a little bit of a rough chop and get that sort of mixed up a little bit and a little bit finer, we're going to find it's just a little bit easier to mix for this dish. The kids will never know, right? There's got spinach in it. In fact, you can chop this broccoli up to the point where it's almost not able to determine what it might be that's green. Call it something else if you must. Broccoli and spinach are good for you. All right, so I'm just going to grab the microwave and give it a stir, show you how that's thickened up. Give me a second. All right, take a look at this already. Now, this is why we use the microwave. For those of you who are maybe thinking you're going to do it on the stove, yes, you can totally do it. It's just going to take longer. The end result's going to be the same. Okay, so there we are. So that was 3 minutes. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to throw my spinach and broccoli in here. I've got basically a minute left in the microwave, and I'm just going to heat things up. And then we've got the oven set up for 425 degrees, and we're going to bake it. That's why I called it, of course, the ABC Bake. So stay tuned. I'm also going to throw in a little extra cheese because why not? So I have some mozzarella cheese, roughly about 3/4 of a cup there. Make this super cheesy. Now, earlier this week, and when you are really busy and you're in these crazy routines, hi Louise and Suzanne, Marcy, I tend to do things up in advance. Why not? So earlier today, I had purchased, well, not today, but earlier this week, I had purchased ground chicken and I got it at the end of the day. And here's a little tip for you. At the end of the day, sometimes your store may put things on sale for like $2 off. My store quite often does. And so at the end of the day, I usually run to my grocery store and grab these items. Now, it has an expiry date on it, maybe in a couple days, but if you freeze it, you're fine. So, but once it's frozen, I have it a block. So I had a block of chicken and I thought, you know what, I'm just going to put this in my square steamer, steam it up, cook it up. And I used half of it the other day to test this recipe to make sure it was really delicious for you. I've got the other half here. It's already cooked and of course crumbled with our meat separator. So I'm going to just put that in and I'm going to warm it up because I want this to happen really quickly for you. so you're not watching me for days. I can give you some fun food facts while it's in the oven. The oven's 425 degrees. I also, when I had pre-done the test on this, I had done some extra pasta, drained it, rinsed it so that it doesn't clump, and threw it in the fridge. These are going to be great hacks for you if you have children and you're maybe at work and you can't get home in time and all the family's in that hangry mode. You know what I'm talking about. Trust me, I had kids. I know the feeling. I mean, I still have a husband that gets sort of hangry at times as well. So it's one of the reasons I have this already. So now this could actually just go right into the baking sheet, but I'm just going to heat it up so I can speed up the process a bit. It really doesn't have to do this. Just making my life simpler. Okay, so what are we doing next? Well, once we've got that all mixed up, what we're going to do is we're going to get a baking sheet. Baking sheet with the liner is going to be your very best friend. This liner is going to save you so much time when it comes to cleanup. And what we're going to do is as soon as this is out, we're going to put it on top here. Because, and I will talk about this because someone messaged me earlier this week and said, why is my muffin pan sticking? Do not use spray like pan cooking spray or any of those spray oils. That's really corrosive and it will actually eat into your silicone, which makes it penetratable to your food, and it's going to make it stick. Do yourself a favor. If you really feel you must put oil in, and sometimes we do need oil if we're making muffins or whatever, put a little bit of oil. Oil, just regular vegetable oil, olive oil. You know where I'm going with that. Okay, so I've got this done. Oven is at 425. What we're going to do here is we are just going to set this into the baking sheet. Make sure we've got all the liquid in there because, as you know, pasta will absorb the liquid. And we want this to thicken up, which it sort of already has, but we want it to come out sort of like a casserole. So just set that aside. Just spread it around. We're going to top this with a little bit of Parmesan cheese, a little bit of sprinkle of our SPG. For those of you who maybe are thinking you want to have a bit of a kick to this, you totally could have used chili pepper flakes. And when it comes to seasoning, and I did make this very kid-friendly with the ranch. Of course, the ranch is going to thicken things up. But you could have chosen things like, well, when I made it, I did it with the Tuscan chicken. So it had that sort of earthy Italian flavor to it. What seasoning do you have in your house? Like you could, with this recipe, you could use almost any flavoring. You could have used spinach dip. You could have used herb and garlic dip. It's really your choice on how you're going to do that. So grabbing our SPG, salt, pepper, garlic, just going to sprinkle this on top. Perfect. Get a little bit more there. And in the oven with a little bit of Parmesan cheese. I'm going to say that's roughly about 1/4 cup. And we'll pop that in. And all we're wanting to do is get that heated up and get a little bit brown, get that cheese, making it ooey gooey. So while that's happening, I have some really exciting news for you. Okay, so fun food facts we'll start out with first. Did you know that I'm using the Creamy Ranch dressing? Creamy Ranch dressing, actually, I'm going to look at the year, 1992 surpassed the Italian salad dressing. Prior to that, Italian was the king of the hill. But Move Over, Creamy Ranch took that over in 1992 and it has never gone back. How much ranch do they sell? In the bottles, like not our jars, but I certainly hope that you start using our Epicure version because it's a dry mix, so you're not having a salad dressing that's already made up and it's got an expiry date. You just mix this up with your mayo or yogurt or sour cream, whatever that looks like, and you can make your own dip, you can make your own dressing, or as you saw today, you can use it as a seasoning. But this, if you were buying the bottles, which are full of usually a lot of extra things that go read the label. You know, why am I even talking about this? Go read your label, go to the fridge, go read your label. If you can pronounce them, good for you, because I didn't learn those words in school, but they're usually full of a lot of extras, preservatives and fillers and whatever. Ours is really just the product, which is great. But they sell, ready for this? Over 100 million bottles of Creamy Ranch in the United States. Did you hear me? 100 million. Now, I hope that's a trivia question for you one day when you actually get some money and win prizes. That is equivalent to, are you ready for this? Just ranch alone is a $1.7 billion product. That's crazy. Now, wouldn't you want to have invented that? Yes, and Hidden Ranch, there's a really good story. You've probably heard me tell it before, so I'm not going to go into that song and dance. So that is the fun food fact for today. I've already told you about buying your broccoli. Last, Alfredo sauce goes back to 1892 in Roman times, and it was made by a man who wanted to help his pregnant wife who just was having morning sickness, and so he added extra butter to fettuccine, and that was the beginning of Alfredo. Who knew? Okay, so I'm stalling because, of course, that's in the oven, and I should turn on the light. The timer is on. We're just going to let that pasta sort of brown a little bit and everything get ooey gooey nice. But I want to share with you something that I think is really important, because you're going to be really upset if I don't. Hi, Leslie. What am I making? I'm calling it ABC Bake. It stands for Alfredo Broccoli Chicken Bake, and it's in the oven, which I'm baking it, and it's a family-friendly kid version meal that you'll love. I will talk a little bit about that. Let's talk about sheet pan meals. Sheet pan meals are going to be a stress saver for you. Basically, you can make a sheet pan out of almost anything you have in your fridge. So if you have leftover beef or chicken or pork or bacon or sausage or mushrooms, anything, do not throw it out, but instead go to your fridge, pull it out, and create some sort of bake. Honestly, if you don't have the ingredients for an ABC bake like I'm doing today, what do you have in your fridge? I know when I looked in my fridge, which I tend to not throw away food, I noticed that I had some carrots. I have a little bit of broccoli left because I bought some broccoli. So I'm going to be doing yaki udon later on this week. But that's how I do my groceries. I look at my packages. This is your menu plan. Go look at what you've got for spices. Go buy the products on the back of the package and make it the plan for the week. And if you have leftovers of any kind of veggies or protein in your fridge, pull it out. And honestly, something like Alfredo, you can make a bake with it. Veggies, protein, a little bit of cheese, some milk, some pasta, and you're done. Like, it's a no-brainer. Okay, let me get to my big topic today. This is our Epic Box. Now, you know about our subscription box, and if you don't know, I hope you do. But I'm going to tell you about it because this one is super, super special. You can still order this box. This is the box that's going to show up at your doorstep in the early parts of September. And why do you want to sign up with this subscription? Well, I'm giving you a cheater. If you guys don't want to know what's going to be coming maybe in the new catalog or maybe in the future, don't look. Walk away for like 3 minutes, okay? But if you're wanting to know why you want to get this in your hot little hands, let me show you. This box is going to arrive at your doorstep. It's going to have a recipe card, a special recipe card. It's going to have some exclusive items. It's going to have our balsamic vinaigrette dressing. We've got a Marry Me chicken, a TikTok favorite. It's going to have Swedish meatballs. Move over, IKEA. We are on our way. It's going to have a very popular returning product, lemon chicken orzo, This, I have customers that have been waiting for this for probably a couple months already. And a new enhanced flavor to our classic favorite, our beef stroganoff. We have a brand new product, exclusive, exclusive, exclusive. I haven't even got it. I faked you out. I printed it off and put it on a package. But this is the maple balsamic chicken. Maple balsamic chicken. Can you guys imagine what this might taste like? I don't know. It's a piece of paper for me. I am so super excited. It's one of the reasons why I love doing the Epic boxes. And it's also got a dessert. For you gluten-free lovers that maybe want a cookie, this is a gluten-free base that you can make any kind of cookie you want. Macadamia cookies, chocolate chip cookies, oatmeal raisin cookies, your imagination. And when you purchase this, not only is it so good for you because you've got 7 meal ideas, but the company actually will pay the food banks in the United States and Canada the equivalent of seven meals for the people who are less fortunate, who are maybe looking for a meal on the table. So that is a pretty big perk in itself. So just to give you a heads up, this is a way for you to get the product. That exclusive item can only be got if you purchase this collection before the end of the month. So 31st of August, and then you're just SOL. Sorry, you heard it from me first. Okay, so my oven is telling me open up. I'm going to grab my roll-up rack. If you're not familiar with our roll-up rack, I love this. It's like a trivet, and of course it folds into like nothing, but it's super handy to have when you're pulling out hot dishes because it'll protect your counter. Turn this off, turn my oven off. Let's grab this out. Here we go. This is your ABC bake. And as you can see, it's got the pasta that's brown, the cheese that's brown, the cheese is ooey and gooey. Now, if you just let this set for about 5 minutes, it'll set up a bit, and then cut it with a butter knife, not your sharp cutting knife. Let's not ruin our nice tray, but you can cut this up and serve it with a nice green salad. Of course, if you're smart and you bought the Epic box, you might be able to make it with that balsamic vinaigrette dressing, which would be a super nice, tasty pull together with a pasta that's got a lasagna base. So thank you everyone for watching today's cooking class. As you can see, I've given you a great solution for the back to routine times when kids are going back to school and potentially you're looking for a way to just cut the stress in your household. So I appreciate you being here. Pop back again. Remember, I'm here Thursdays at 3 o'clock. Stay tuned. Next week, I'm going to be making something brand new and special from our brand new catalog, which is going to be going live on September the 4th. If you don't know already, when the catalog leaves the line, we do have a sale up to 35% off of some of our products. So go take a look on my website. If there's anything you need, grab it while it's available. It's not yours until you pay for it and it's en route to you. So don't just stick it in your cart and think it's yours. Someone might steal it out of the cart. Take care, everyone. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again next week.